Hello everyone. So today let's discuss the DQ algorithm, right? So previously we had discussed the Q. So today we'll be discussing the algorithm, this one DQ algorithm, right? So I'll not explain that much. Let's mainly focus on the properties as we had discussed the data structures and others part how it works. Actually, mainly within the data structures, this one place you can just see that one. So yeah, let's move on with the further things actually. A DQ algorithm, actually, what it states, see here, a DQ algorithm uses a double-ended queue, right? So we know this. Yep. A DQ algorithm uses the double-ended queue to push and pop elements, right? To push and push nothing but to add the elements, and pop nothing but to remove the elements. What it uses? It uses the double-ended queue, right? A DQ algorithm uses double-ended queue to push and pop elements from the front as well as the back efficiently. From front as well as the back efficiently. It is commonly used to maintain the order min or max. It is commonly used to maintain the order min or max while processing the elements sequentially. While processing the elements sequentially. So this is it about the DQ. This is it about the DQ. Next, let's see how the algorithm works actually. We already know that it is commonly used to maintain the order min or max while processing the elements, and also it uses the double-ended queue, right, to push and pop elements from both front and back efficiently, right? So this one. So we have this one front as well as the rear. Usually the normal queue we will be able to add from the rear actually. Usually we add from the rear this part and we remove from the this one front. That's what we do, right? Here this one we should be able to add and remove from the front, and we should be able to add and remove from the front as well as from the rear both. So we can add and remove the elements from the rear as well as the front. So that's the main difference. Yep. So this is fine, I believe. Yeah. So now let's see how the algorithm works. We store the indices in a DQ. We store the indices in a DQ, not values, right? We store the indices in a DQ, not the values. So this is fine. So DQ maintains a monotonic order, right? DQ maintains a monotonic order, nothing but increasing or decreasing. Yep. DQ maintains a monotonic order, nothing but increasing or the decreasing. Just remember this one. Yep. We store indices in DQ, not values. So this part is very important. We will be storing the indices, not the values in the DQ, right? And DQ maintains the monotonic order. This is fine. It's as simple as that. Next, before adding the new elements, um, we will be removing all the useless elements from the back, right? We will be removing all the elements from the back or rear actually. Yeah, we will be removing all the useless elements from the back or rear. Yep. So before reading the answer, we'll remove out of range elements from the front. We will be removing out of range elements from the front. Front of DQ always gives the correct answer, right? Front of the DQ always gives the correct answer, right? So this is it for the algorithm. So this is it for the algorithm. Yeah. Next, let's implement the same thing in the form of code. Let's implement the same thing in the form of code. That's what we will be doing. So we'll be going with an example problem here. So to find the maximum in every window of size k equals 3, right? So we'll go with finding the maximum in every window of size k equals 3, right? So we'll go with the array, this one, example array, this one, or the input array, right? So yep, let's try to implement the same thing in the form of code. We have to find the maximum in every window of size k equals 3, right? Every this one window of size k equals 3, right? So that's what we will be doing. So first I'll consider the example array here. So let me go with array equals. So let me go with 1, 3, some random numbers actually. 2 also would have been even easier. Anyways, we can just go with a positive as well as the negative elements, anything, right? So I'll just go with the 1, 3 minus 1 minus 3, 5. Yep. Next, I'll consider here k equals 3. Yeah. Let me consider k equals 3 here, right? So then I'll just go with the DQ, right? So let me go with the DQ here. So let me pass the integer. Let me pass the integer. So this is fine. So I'll just go with the DQ. So let me go with new array DQ. Yep. Let me go with a new array DQ. Yep. So this is fine. This is about the DQ. So this is fine. Yep. So this is the syntax for the deque. So as we are considering the integers, actually this is of the type integer. Deque is nothing but the variable name. Then we have completed the syntax, new array deque. So this is fine. Next, let's move on with a for loop, simple for loop here. So I'll just go with for int I equals 0, I less than length of the array. We are considering the length of the array, right? So what is this actually? Sorry, 1 second. What happened here? Anyways, array length. So I'll just go with a I plus plus. So within the for loop, what we'll be doing? First, let's remove the indices out of the current window, right? Let's remove the indices out of the current window. So how can we do that? See, I'll just go with a simple if condition here. If not of deque dot is empty, if not of deque dot is empty, and deque dot peak first actually. Let me go with a peak first. This one, peak first. So less than or equal to I minus k, less than or equal to I minus k. Then I'll do one thing. Let me go with a poll first operation that is provided by the deque. This one, poll first. Yep. What we are doing, we are removing the indices out of the current window, right? So we are removing the indices out of the current window. K equals 3 we have considered. So we are removing all the indices out of the current window. That's what we are doing by making use of the this one peak first as well as the pole first properties. Yep. Peak first, it's only used to view the element, and pole first we are removing all the uh, this one, what do we call, indices out of the current window. Next, what shall we do? Let's remove the smaller elements from the back, right? As per the discussion, we will be removing the smaller elements from the back itself, right? So I'll just go with the while. So let me go with the not of deque, not of deque dot is empty. Let me go with the is empty operation, and I'll just go with the array of deque dot let me go with a peak last actually. Let me go with a peak last, this one. Yep. So this is fine. Peak last. So if it is less than or equal to array of I, if it is less than or equal to array of I, then let me go with a poll last. Let me go with a poll last, this one. Yep. So what we are doing here, first, again, we are removing the smaller elements from the back actually. That's what we are doing. First, we are considering the all the small elements actually by this one array of deque.peak last. If it is less than or equal to array of I, the current element, right? So then we are removing all the smaller elements from the back, right? So by making use of the poll last property. Yep. So this is fine. It's as simple as that. Next, let's do one thing. Suppose if we want to add the current index, how can we add the current particular index actually? Yeah, current index. Yep. For that, deque provides add last property. Add last property. So I'll just go with a add last here. This one, add last. So let me pass the I as we are adding the current index. Yeah, let me pass I. So this is it. Now we have to print max. Yeah, we have to, or suppose if you want to print max once the window is formed, how can we write that? Right. So I'll just go with a simple if condition here. If I is greater than or equal to k minus 1, I is greater than or equal to k minus 1, then let me go with a s out or the system out println, right? So I'll just go with array of deque dot peak first actually. Let me go with a peak first, this one. So this is fine. And let's print this one. I don't want to print in the next line. Let's print in the same line. Let's leave the space after every element. Yeah, so that this looks good actually. Yep. So this is fine. Let me format the code one. So this is it for the code. This is it for the all code, right? So yep, we have discussed this one step by step, right? So before running the code, let's dry run the code, right? Let's dry run the code so that we understand whatever uh, the code that we have written along with the examples that we need, along with the output that we need to get. Yeah, let's do that. So let's consider the same thing that we have considered within the code actually. So let's go with array equals here. The elements what we considered 1, 3, minus 1, then minus 3, 5, then minus 3, 5, right? So k we have considered 3 actually. Per window we have considered 3. So this is fine, I believe, right? So we are going with step by step, right? So first we are going with the iteration here. It indexing starts from the zero actually. Let me go with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements, right? So we should be able to go with the five indices here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? This is fine. Then array of I is nothing but the elements. So nothing but 1, 3, minus 1, minus 3, 5. So I'll just go with 1. So the same elements actually. 1, 3, minus 1, then we have minus 3, and then the final one is 5, right? So now we will be going with a DQ, right? So now we will be going with a DQ. So this is nothing but the DQ, whatever I have written. So DQ stores the indices as per the this one discussion. DQ doesn't store the value, DQ stores the indices, right? So here that we have discussed. So this is very important point. You have to know this, by the way. Yep. So this is fine. So 0. So this one will be, this stores the index 1, and this one will be index 1 and 2, and this one will be 1, 2, 3, by the way. 1, 2, 3, and this one will be just 4. This one will be just 4, right? So this is fine. Then let's go with a action. Let's go with a action here. What we'll do, we will add actually. We'll add accordingly with the code that we have written. So first we will be adding, right? So output, we don't have anything, so we'll ignore, right? So then what we will do, we'll pop 0, we will pop 0, and we will add 1 actually. We will add 1, right? Accordingly with the code that we have written. So we'll pop 0 and add 1. So output, we don't have anything for this. So this is fine. Yep. So then we are having add. So we have to go with a add actually. We have to go with the add here. So we have successfully added the element 3. We have successfully added the element 3. So this one, the output will be 3. Next, we have the indices 1, 2, 3, and here then we are performing the add operation itself. Add operation itself. So here the output has to be 3 itself. The output has to be 3 itself. Then finally we have to pop all and add, right? So we are left with a element 5 actually, element 5. So we have to pop all here and then add 3, then add 3 after popping all. So we're left with 3. We will be adding 3 here, right? So so not 3, we'll be adding 5, sorry. So here I wrote wrong. Anyways, add, not add 5, so add is necessary here. Add is necessary, so we'll pop all and we'll pop all and we'll just add, right? So we have got the output 3, 3 as 5 within the output, right? So 3, 3 as well as 5. So this is the output that we need to get actually. This is the output that we need to get, right? Yep. So this is it for the coding part. This is it for the dry run part actually. Yeah, we have considered the same example that we have considered within the code. 1, 3, minus 1, minus 3, 5 actually. What we are doing, we are finding the maximum element within the particular window, right? So here we have 3 windows actually. One is 1, 3, minus 1. So initially we are ignoring this one because the window is 2, right? So when we have the window 3, we have to consider. So this is fine. 1, 3, minus 1, which is the maximum that we have got here, 3, right? So among this 3, we have got this one as output. Then we are considering the 3 minus 1, 3, right? 3 minus 1, 3. So 3 minus 1, 3, which is the maximum element actually, again 3. We have got 3 here, right? We have got 3. Finally, we are going with a minus 1, minus 3 as well as the 5. So among minus 1, minus 3 as well as the 5, which is the greater element? 5. So we have got 5 as the output. So this is how we got 3, 3, 5. So we have got the desired output, right? So we have got the desired output, right? So this is the output that we need to get accordingly with the code that we have written. Now what we will be doing, so as we have discussed the this one code, and as we have dry run the code, it's better to run the code, right? Run the code that we have written. So let me come here and let me run the code. So the output that we need to get here is this one 3, 3 as well as the 5. Let's check the same. If yeah, accordingly with the code that we have written, we have to get the output 3, 3, 5. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, see here, we have got the output, same output 3, 3 as well as the 5. right? So we have complete idea on the DQ as well as the Q now, right? So previously we had discussed the Q. Now we have complete idea on the DQ and as well as the operations, right? As well as the operations, how we make use of a certain operations, we know, right? So we have complete idea, right? So this is nothing but finding the maximum element with this one. Yeah, finding the maximum element within the certain window. Yep. So this is fine. We are done with this part. The only thing that is left is discussing about the complexities part. Let's do it. Yeah. So what will be the time complexity and the space complexity? So the time complexity would lead to big of n. So you would have already guessed the time complexity would lead to big of n. Why it is big of n? See, for each element enters and exits the DQ exactly once. We know this one accordingly with the code that we had written and accordingly with the certain things that we had discussed in the DQ, right? Each element enters and exits the DQ exactly once. So overall time complexity would lead to big of n. So what would be the space complexity? Space complexity would lead to big of k as well. Space complexity would lead to big of k as well because DQ stores at most window size, right? DQ stores at most window size here. So it is completely dependent on the k. So overall size space complexity would lead to big of k. In our case, we went with a k equals 3, right? So quite obviously, it would lead to big of k. Yep. So this is it for the time complexity and the space complexity. Yeah, the time complexity and the space complexity for the code that we have written would lead to big of n and big of k respectively, right? So now we are done with the this one DQ part. Actually, we are done with the DQ part. So next we will be discussing about the sliding window maximum algorithm. For now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.